So I've been a tiny bit inconsistent with my uploads recently, and because of that, there's been a lot of news that's happened revolving around GD that I just haven't been able to cover. Though a lot of the stuff that have happened in the past week are all stuff that I wouldn't really think are big enough to make a full video on, but they're stuff I really do want to cover. So this video is essentially going to be that, as I'm gonna just recap everything that's happened in the past week. Obviously, I'm gonna miss a couple things, but I tried to put in as much stuff as I can, so because of that, do not expect me to cover things in much detail at all. I'll be barely briefly going over these things. I will provide some info and my thoughts on it as well. So each part of this video is going to be a lot shorter than the average video I upload. However, obviously this main video is probably going to end up longer. Essentially, it's like a welcome to GD news thing we're doing here. So let's just get started. As you can see, I'm on the demon list right now, and that is because when we go to top 150, the 150th level is Gale Force, and that marks a era in GD, because recently we saw Cold Sweat get put to Legacy. Here's Cold Sweat's profile. Cold Sweat is one of the most popular list demons in the game. Well, it was a list demon. It was there for, I believe, over 5 years. It's been ages that this thing's been on the list. It originally placed as a top 7 in 2020, and then in 2021 it actually got raised back to top 10. And this level has been probably one of the most popular levels for people to jump to. You see a lot of people go for this. People like Connix and Kellencraft have all gone for this level in recent times, and throughout its history you can see that there's over 437 records, with over 400 actually completing it, so it is a very popular level and is very sad to see. Now, the level that knocked it off is a top 110 called Rock Bottom, which is a very raw level. It is very much just a bunch of spam and straight fly and orb spam. Not necessarily saying that's bad. Personally, I wouldn't like to play this kind of level. However, I don't think it's a bad level. I think it looks really good, and I think the decoration completely matches its gameplay style. I think they pair really well. And it is nice to see a level that plays like this on the list. I feel like we've lost in recent times a lot of levels that have this kind of style gameplay, so it's good to see one that focuses on it. Currently, Rock Bottom sits at 106 on the list, so if you want to play it, should last a decent while on there. Pretty cool. But now let's move on to the completions we've seen. I'm going to talk about a couple notable completions that have happened. And the first one we're going to talk about is from the Golden Bow. Now, this guy is a really cracked player. He's been a lot of very hard levels, and recently he's been going for Ashley Wave Trials. I actually covered him in my video on the Ashley Wave Trials race, and 11 days ago he was able to get 88%, which is nearly there. It is so sad he died there because that puts him so close to completing the level, but hey, we're at the completion segment, so obviously you know what's happened. He was able to beat Ashley Wave Trials after 41,000 attempts. He even got mentioned on the GD News kind of Twitter account that exists. It's kind of funny that this always happens with levels. It seems like we'll see someone beat a level that hasn't been touched in like a year, and then as soon as that happens, we see a bajillion other victors. That's what's happened here. We saw our first victor of Ashley Wave Trials finally happen, and then like 9 days later, we saw the bow beat it right here. So yeah, it's really cool to see, and congrats on the completion. We also saw a completion from Benbot, who actually was able to beat Nullscapes, and this is even more impressive because 1, it is a top 10, and 2, it is a jump from Shardscapes, which is mad impressive considering that Shardscapes is a high legacy level, and actually people find Shardscapes overrated on the list right now, at least on the errata wise, so it's kind of cool to see he was actually able to be a top 10 here. Now, I feel like a jump from Shardscapes to Nullscapes is going to become this norm that we're gonna have. I can totally see a bunch more people doing this, and we actually in fact have seen a bunch more progress from other people doing this exact same jump. But we rarely see them actually complete that jump, so it's cool that Benbot was able to actually do it. This is mad impressive. Again, this is top 10. This is no easy feat, so congratulations on actually being able to beat this. We also saw a completion from Servax of Silent Clubstep, and I wanted to bring this one up because Silent Clubstep for Servax has been such a mental grind. He's had so many deaths in the 70s, And if you've been following him, you'll know that he's been having a pretty tough time with this level. So it's cool he was able to finish it off. He's a very cracked player, and he thinks this is underrated on the list. And you can kind of see how hard he thinks Silent Clubstep is when he says that he thinks that this is a level harder than Penumbral, and Penumbral he thought was well harder than Andromeda. So you can kind of see that he thinks there's a massive gap between a level like this and Andromeda, which is a borderline top 10 still. So yeah, congrats to Servax as well, and let's just go on to the next piece of info. We're gonna move on to the progression part of the video, so I'm just gonna show progress on levels now instead of completions, and this one is from Lobster. Now, this level doesn't look that bad, right? It just looks like a pretty easy level, but this is in fact Cyber Raptor, a level that I've covered recently that is over 11 minutes in length, and Lobster was able to get 93% on this, which is genuinely so outstanding. You're able to have not only the motivation to play enough to get to 93%, but just the nerve control to be able to sustain yourself for that long of gameplay, considering that this level is a potential top 15 even. Now, this actually did happen a bit ago. In fact, I mentioned the 93% run in my video on Cyberraptor before, but Lobster didn't actually post the progress yet, so I didn't want to cover it fully until we actually saw that progress get announced, and here we go. It has, the video's uploaded. So it's really cool to see that this was a legit run, 93% was achieved, and I think that we're going to see a completion very soon. I think that Lobster's definitely got the skill to do it and the nerves to do it, and I can't wait to see this get beaten and maybe rated. And if it doesn't get rated, which there's a high chance it doesn't, then at least we're probably going to end up seeing this on the rated list plus that the demon list is adding. And Mizuki is another top player that's been making some crazy progress, with Mizuki getting 38 to 100 on unnerfed Eternal Night. Now, Eternal Night is the level that I've followed the most that was an upcoming top 1. I was so hyped for this level when it first got announced. I thought it looked super cool. Now, currently, it's a pretty long dead level, but it has been getting revived by a couple different people. There's been a few remakes, and there's one really cool by Cairo that might be coming out soon. But this is just a really cool level, but also super difficult. Now, I've seen a ton of differing opinions on the difficulty of Unnerfed Eternal Night, but from what I can tell, at the very, very minimum, this is at least top 5, and in most people's titles, even Mizuki's, it's listed as a top 1. So this is, again, 38 to 100 on a potential top 1. So let's add another level to this bucket of upcoming top 1s. They're all about to get verified now. We're reaching, what, like 11 now? It's actually diabolical. It's crazy that there is so many levels. There is practically dozens of levels at this point. They're just getting verified. They're harder than Thinking Space 2, of all things. It's actually crazy how much people have been able to push the skill barrier recently. Terra is also another person I've covered, and Terra recently got 42% on a level called the Escalator, giving Terra 2 runs on this level. If you don't know what this is, it's a potential top 5. I think it's currently differing between maybe top 10 to 5, but currently it looks like a top 5 completion, and this is a really cool level. This is actually the original level to Society. Society is actually a sequel to this, so it's kind of cool that we're finally getting this verified now. Originally, I believe this had the intentions of being a top 1, but nowadays it's aiming for this top 5-ish difficulty. I think it looks super cool. It is an amazing song if you want to go listen to it. But yeah, support Terra because this is genuinely crazy. And lastly, Doobs was able to get 10% on Unnamed 666, which is a world record. This level was having races in like the most minute decimals. People were fighting over getting the world record, moving it from like 9.97 to 9.99, then to like 10. It's actually crazy how difficult this level is. I don't know too much on it, but I have heard of it over the years, so it's kind of cool that we've reached double digits from 0 on it now. Did I say lastly? I might have. Well, there's still more runs. I kind of forgot. Doggy recently got 25 to 100 on Grief again? Yeah, 16 hours ago from now, he got his 8th 25 to 100 run. He says here, for reference, my nerves at the ending from 25 are the same as nerves at 35% from 0. So yeah, this is totally, I feel like, more of a mind block from Zero than anything, or just a nerve issue. A lot of people have recently been bringing up, hey, maybe the doggy's having a tough time on grief from Zero because, it's not a mind block and it's not the nerves. The level is just genuinely that hard. But I think this kind of proves it. Like, he is fine doing runs to 100. He's having no issue here. 8 times is crazy. But then, I think it's just the fact from playing from Zero. The nerves you're going to have realizing this is top 1. I need this to get top 1 now, because in modern day, I feel like with how many levels are getting verified, if Doggy doesn't do something soon, this won't be top 1. And I think over the years, he has pressure from the community for this to be top 1. I don't mind if it doesn't end up being that, but I'm sure he wants it to be top 1, and I'm sure most of the community are kind of banking on it. It kind of feels like maybe he's dishonoring his community by verifying this in a not top 1 state. So I get the nerves, but it is cool to see that he is very consistent, at least doing drop to 100. Now, I'm not gonna go over this much because I don't actually know too much about this level, but the top player Evets is verifying a top 1-2-3 level called Fortress in the Sky. Now, yes, he's a top platformer player. This is a platformer level, but it's still really cool to see. Again, I don't know much about this level. It looks super sick. It looks very original for a top 1-3, but again, I'm not really going to talk about it much because I don't know too much about it. It seems like Evet thinks it's going to take a while to beat this, but he is a really cracked player. We actually talked about him on a video before, when he was able to verify the Impossible Kid, which is a top 5 completion. So hopefully he will have the skill to pull with this and determination to do so. I think he will. I would keep your eyes on it because it's a really cool level, and I think Platformer needs a lot more attention because these are some really hard completions. They're only getting a couple thousand, there's a couple hundred views. But if we really want to talk underrated, then let's talk Blue GMD, because Blue GMD has been playing Bubawamba for a long time, and the first progress I can see posted that's like actually, a decent amount is this 37 to 100 run with objects, which basically means this is a 37 to 100 run with the background things that you have to memorize in the location of the level. A lot of people play this level in runs without that to kind of grasp the difficulty first. This run is the actual complete 37 to 100. And yeah, recently Blue was able to do 58% without CBF as well, and for levels at this difficulty, CBF is going to affect the gameplay a lot more. It's going to make it a lot easier. Not so much on easier levels, but definitely for this kind. And yeah, it is crazy to see that this run was actually done. This is so close to even getting a list percent. And even though we've seen a couple more victors of Bubawamba, we still very rarely see the victors, and it's a top 10. So it's really cool to see this. And again, 70 views. What are we doing? 70 views. And it's not like it hasn't been a while. It's been a couple days now. We also saw Davin here announce that on June 30th, he's going to be showing the preview for his new top free verification. If you don't know who Davin is, he recently became the first victor of Orbit. That's all you need to know by how skilled this guy is. That's all you need to know. He's basically one of the best upcoming players in the game, and he's currently being debated to be a top 3 player. Personally, I don't think he's reached it yet, but I would definitely call this guy a top 5 player. He is so good at the game. And yeah, this is going to be a cherry team verification. Some people actually thought this was going to be Peach Vomit. You can see in the comments as well, people were saying that. However, I think it was pretty obvious that this is its own original level that this was going to be, and it wasn't going to be an older cherry team verification. At least I think this is a new cherry team level. But it's really cool to see him get verification of his own. A lot of times it takes a long time for top players to actually get a decently well-made, good verification that they want to play and actually follow through with, so it's cool that Davin was able to get it already. We also saw a preview for Dark World, and this is a really cool looking level. It's estimated to be top 5 in difficulty. Now, I actually don't know much about this level at all. In fact, I only know it because of this video being made. I don't actually know anything about this. However, it looks super sick. It's probably referencing something that I don't know. But I wanted to give it recognition because, one, it's top 5. It's really, impressively difficult. But also, it just looks really cool. Like, I love purple levels. I love purple and pink levels in GD. and you know, this is one of them, and it's actually doing something with it. It's just really cool. I think it's got some cool transitions. The gameplay might be a bit iffy. Some of the transitions look a bit scary to play, but mostly this level looks fine, and I hope that it gets finished. And we also saw Haunted Ship get a showcase. Now, this level is a sequel to Coral Cave. Coral Cave is a really funny level because it's the one with the stupid CBF thing where if you played level in CBF, you would have to wait an hour to beat the level, which is funny, just an hour of blackness. But yeah, this is a very cool level. These levels try to kind of replicate Sonic levels, if I'm not wrong, and this is the one directly after Coral Cave, the one that level remakes. And yeah, it's really cool. They've got such a distinct style. It has so much personality baked into it while still looking like a GD level. And I won't be going over this level too much, obviously. If I pause here, you can see that this entire section is the creator explaining the thoughts on the level and the level's history itself. So I'm not going to go over that in this video because honestly it could be a whole video of its own, but I would recommend watching it yourself. This level's actually been existing for a couple years. It was existing as a layout relatively soon after Coral Cave, but just never got decorated. And then now the rights were given to decorate it, and we got this full level. It looks super cool. I would go and check it out, please. It's very cool. Watch the video, please. Thank you. And if you're not caught up with my videos, you'll know there's some other stuff that happened the past week that I already covered. We had an update to Eternus, which was kind of crazy to see that happen. We saw Daily Dose of GD and Aeonair and Tria quit in their respective categories. Tria quit competitive GD. Aeon also quit, but it was due to carpal tunnel. He didn't have a choice. And Daily Dose of GD has quit posting on that channel just because of burnout. We also saw a bunch of rate waves that happened recently, with the main one being this video where we saw some amazing platformer levels actually get a rate. Cave of the Scarlet Sky, which the Pesta verified, and the top 1 Nautical Nightmares. And that is the video. Now, I know there's some things I missed, like all I need to do is click on Extra Nuggies, go to videos, and look, there was an amazing run on Angela's side that was done recently. Don't freak out, that's not 37 to 100. But yeah, I just want to make this video, you know, not be a bajillion years long, but I also wanted to mention a decent amount of people, and I hope I did that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm live streaming at 7 p.m. hopefully, or 7:30 p.m. BST. If you want to watch that, that's pretty soon. We're gonna have a fun live stream there today. But don't really have much more to say. Thanks for watching all the way through, and peace.